Let your eyes close now and feel the weight of your body settling into the bed beneath you. Notice how far your arms can reach. Up, down, to the side. Notice the space around you, the height of the ceiling above, the width of the room, the soft distance between you and the walls. You live inside a world of directions, so many of them that you never bother to count. Imagine, gently, that you are tracing a single thread across the dark. Just one. A line drawn by a fingertip across cool glass. Follow it. There is forward, and there is backward. And tonight, that is all there is. This is the first dimension, the simplest shape that existence can take. A line, and nothing more. There is no up here, no down, no left, no right, no thickness, no height, no width at all. There is only length, pure, quiet length, stretching ahead of you and behind you into the soft black. Let yourself rest there for a moment. A single line, a single direction, doubled into forward and back. Now imagine that you are not looking at the line. Imagine that you are the line. That you have become something with no body to turn, no head to lift, no eyes to glance sideways. Because sideways does not exist. There is no such thing as sideways here. There is no word for it. There could never be. Feel how narrow that is. Feel how still. You can move forward. You can move backward. And that is the whole of what movement means. There is no swerving, no rising, no falling. You cannot step around anything, because there is no around. You cannot look up, because there is no up to look toward. The entire universe, in the first dimension, is a single path with two endings, and you are somewhere along it. And here is the quiet, strange thing. If something were ever to pass beside you, something from a wider world, something with width and height and depth, you would never know. You could not turn to see it. You could not even understand that beside was a place a thing could be. It could be inches away, vast and glowing and alive, and to you there would only ever be forward and backward and the unbroken line you were born inside. Let that settle into you slowly, the way cold water settles into still air. You would not feel trapped. That is the part that softens the mind. You would feel nothing missing at all, because you cannot miss a direction you have never had a word for. The line would feel complete. It would feel like everything. A creature of the first dimension would call its little thread the whole of reality, and it would be right, in the only way it could ever be right. Breathe in, breathe out. Let the line carry you. There is something almost peaceful about a world this simple. No choices but two. No corners to turn. No distance you could ever get lost in, because lost requires more than one direction. And here, there is only the path. Forward is the future. Backward is the past. And every place you could ever be is already laid out, one point after another, like beads on a single quiet string. You have spent your whole life surrounded by directions, reaching, turning, climbing, falling. So many ways to move that you stop noticing any of them. But tonight, you are letting them fall away, one by one, until only the gentlest one remains. The first one, the oldest one, the single thread, forward and backward, and the soft dark that holds them both. Rest here a while, on the line. There is nothing you need to reach, nothing beside you that you must see. only the quiet length of it, stretching ahead and behind, carrying you slowly, the way a current carries a leaf that has stopped trying to swim. You are a single point, drifting along a single thread, and it is enough. It is more than enough. It is the whole of the world. And just as you begin to feel how still a single line can be, let one new thought arrive, soft as a second breath. What if the line is not alone? What if, somewhere just beside it, there is room for another line to lie down next to it, and another, until the thread you have been resting on becomes a surface, flat and wide and waiting. Let that thought open gently beneath you now, as we drift from the line into the plane. The line is gone now. In its place, something opens, something wider. Imagine a sheet of paper resting on a still table. Smooth, flat, perfectly even. Run your fingertip across it, slowly, the way you might trace a word you love. That surface, that quiet, endless flatness, that is the second dimension. Here there is forward, here there is back, and now something new. Now there is left, and there is right. A whole new direction has opened, like a door you did not know was there. The line has become a plane. The thread has become a page. Picture a tiny being living on that page. Not above it, not below it, inside it, pressed into the flatness like ink soaked into paper. It can slide forward, it can slide back, it can slide sideways. It can turn in slow circles on the surface of its world. But it cannot look up. It does not know what up means. The word has no place to land. Its whole sky is the edge of the page. Its whole horizon is a line in every direction. There is no ceiling above it. There is no floor below it. There is only the smooth, endless, quiet flat. Let your breath slow here, in and out. You, lying in your bed, have a body with depth. Your chest rises. Your shoulders have thickness. Your hand could lift right now into the air above your face. The being on the page cannot imagine that motion. It has no word for the air above its face. Now picture this, very gently. Your hand, the one resting beside you, lowering slowly toward that flat world. Just one fingertip, just the very tip. The moment your finger touches the page, something appears in the flat being's universe. A circle. A small, perfect circle, arriving from nowhere. Not from the left, not from the right, not from in front, not from behind. From a direction that does not exist in its world. The circle widens as your finger presses deeper. The being watches a shape grow out of nothing, with no cause it can name. To you, it is only your finger. To it, it is a visitation, a mystery, a presence with no origin. And here is the quiet thing, the thing to hold softly. You are a whole hand, a whole arm, a whole body, a whole life. But the flat being can only ever see one slice of you at a time. The rest of you exists in a direction it cannot turn its head toward. Stay with that for a moment. Just breathe. Everything you are, everything you have ever been, reduced in that world to a circle that appears and disappears. Not because you are small, but because the world is flat. There is something gentle about the second dimension, something patient, a whole reality lived on the surface of a still pond, sliding, turning, drifting sideways, never knowing there is a sky. You have a sky. You have a ceiling. You have the soft dark above your bed. You have a direction the flat being cannot dream of, and you move through it without thinking, every moment of your life. And maybe, just maybe, there is a direction above you, a direction your body cannot turn toward, a presence that, if it lowered itself gently into your world, would appear as something small and round and impossible to explain. But not yet. Not yet. For now, rest on the flat. Rest on the smooth, endless page. Let the circle appear and widen and fade. The plane is sleeping. The plane stretches softly in every direction and goes quiet. And as it goes quiet, the page begins to lift. It begins to thicken. A new direction opens above it and below it, and the flat world swells gently into something you already know, something you have lived inside your whole life.
A moment ago you were flat, a shimmer on the surface of still water, sliding left, sliding right, with no idea that anything could exist above you. And now, softly, the world lifts. Let your awareness return to your body, the real one, the one resting wherever you are lying now. Feel the weight of your head against the pillow. Feel your chest rising, falling, rising again. And notice something so ordinary that you have never once stopped to marvel at it. You take up room. There is a length to you, from the crown of your head to the soles of your feet. There is a width to you, shoulder to shoulder, the space your arms can stretch into. And there is a height, a thickness, a fullness that the flat world could never have known. Length, width, height, 3 directions woven together. This is the 3rd dimension. This is the only home you have ever touched. Everything you have ever held lives here. The warmth of a cup between your palms, the curve of a stone worn smooth by water, the face of someone you love with all its quiet depth, the way it comes forward out of the dark when they lean close. None of this could exist on a flat plane. All of it needs that 3rd direction, the one that lets things have an inside and an outside, a front and a behind, a here and a deeper in. Feel how full this is. You can reach up. You can reach down. You can turn your head and there is a whole room wrapping around you, the air sitting in every corner of it, the ceiling floating above, the floor holding everything steady below. In the flat world, to be surrounded was impossible. Here, you are held on every side at once. Let yourself rest in that for a moment. The comfort of depth, the solidity of things, the simple miracle that you can close your hand around an object and feel it press back. This is the world that raised you, the world of rain and skin and breath and stone. You have trusted it your whole life, and it has never once let you fall through. And yet, lie here in the dark and consider one strange and gentle thought. To something flat, your hand would be a mystery. If you lowered your fingertips down through that shimmering surface of water, the flat world we just left, a creature living there would not see a hand. It could not. It has no up to look toward. It would see only a circle appearing from nothing, a shape that arrived out of a direction it could not point to, hovering in its world with no explanation. Your whole hand, your whole arm, your whole self, reduced to a single ring of edges where you happen to touch. You would be a visitor from a higher place, and you would be invisible in every way except the slice of you that passed through.
Now let that thought turn around very slowly, gently, the way you turn in sleep. If you are the higher thing to the flat world, what stands in that same place above you? Here is the quiet, the soft and impossible quiet. This room you trust so completely, this fullness of length and width and height, this solid world of weight and warmth. It may itself be only a surface, a thin skin of reality, a flat sheet seen from somewhere higher, somewhere your eyes cannot turn, in a direction you have no word for and no muscle to move toward. You, lying here so certain of your depth, might be the circle, the slice, the simple ring of edges where something vaster touches through. Let that settle. Let it be soft, not frightening. Breathe. You do not have to find that direction tonight. You do not have to look up into the impossible. You only have to lie here and feel your 3 faithful dimensions hold you the way they always have. Length, from head to feet. Width, from arm to arm. Height, the gentle thickness of a chest that rises and falls. This is enough. This has always been enough. So rest now in the only world your hands have ever known, full and round and solid in the dark. Let it hold you, even as you carry the quiet secret that it may be thinner than it seems. The door to this dimension closes softly, leaving you safe inside your own warm depth. And just before sleep takes the next step, notice the one direction we have not yet questioned. Not up, not sideways, but forward, through the slow river of moments, the thing you call now, always sliding gently into next. There is one direction left that you have never questioned. Not up, not sideways. The slow one. The one you are moving through right now without lifting a single muscle. Lie still and feel it. Even now, perfectly motionless in the dark, something about you is moving. Your breath goes out and then it is gone, slipped behind you into a place you cannot return to. Another breath comes. It too will pass. You are drifting, gently and constantly, down a river you never chose to enter and cannot step out of. You call this drifting now. You have called it now your entire life. This is the 4th dimension. This is time. For so long you thought of time as something separate from space, a clock ticking on a wall while the world held still around it. But a man named Einstein looked closely and saw that they are woven together. The same fabric, length and width and height and time, all one cloth. Space tells time how to flow. Time tells space how to hold together. And you, lying here, are stitched into both. Let yourself feel how strange your motion truly is. You can stop walking. You can lie down. You can hold every muscle still and quiet. But you cannot stop moving through time. You are always traveling forward, one moment into the next, carried along whether you wish it or not. It is the only journey you have never been able to pause. Now, here, in the safe dark, let me loosen something for you, gently. You think of the past as gone. You think of the future as not yet real. You believe only this present moment, this single breath, actually exists. And all the rest has either dissolved or has not yet been born. But what if that is only how it feels from inside the river? Consider the flat creature again, the one who lived on the surface of still water. To it, your hand was not a whole object passing through. It saw only one slice at a time, one circle, then another, each appearing and vanishing, and it would have sworn that only the present circle was real.
It could not see that your whole hand existed all at once, complete from wrist to fingertip, every part of it there together. It simply lacked the eyes to see the whole. Now turn that softly toward yourself. What if every moment of your life already exists, all at once, complete? The morning you were born, this very breath, the last word you will ever speak. Not coming, not going, simply there, all of it, laid out together like a long hallway where every door is already open. And you are walking through it, so slowly, one room at a time, that you mistake the walking for the only thing that is real. Stop here for a moment. Let that rest on you in the dark. Your past is not erased. It is simply behind you in a direction you cannot turn your head toward. Your future is not waiting to be made. It is already standing there, finished, in a place you have not yet arrived. And the only reason you cannot see it all at once is the same reason the flat creature could not see your hand. You are moving through something whole, experiencing it one slice at a time, and calling that single glowing slice now. Breathe. Let it be gentle. This is not a loss. It is the opposite of loss. There is a shape that holds this idea, and its name is the tesseract. Picture an ordinary cube, the kind you could hold in your palm. 6 flat faces, solid and simple. Now imagine that cube extended through time the way a line is extended into a square, the way a square is extended into a cube. A cube made of cubes. A shape that holds not just where a thing is, but everywhere it has ever been and everywhere it will go. All nested together, all at once. You cannot quite see it. Your eyes were built for 3 directions, and this asks for a 4th. But you can almost feel it, the way you can almost feel a word resting on the tip of your tongue. And if the tesseract is true, if every moment already exists, complete and unmoving, then nothing you have loved is ever truly gone. It is only behind you. Every warm afternoon, every voice that has gone quiet, every version of you that ever breathed in the dark like this, all of it is still there, real, held forever in the place the river came from. Let that be a comfort, not a weight. You are not losing your life as you live it. You are simply walking through it, one gentle room at a time. So rest now in the slow current, no longer fighting it, no longer mourning what slips behind you, knowing the whole of you exists already, finished and safe, from the first breath to the last. The door to this dimension does not close. It only joins all the other doors, standing quietly open in the long hallway of time. And as you drift, a smaller question waits, curled and patient. For if these vast directions can hide from your eyes, perhaps there are others, folded so impossibly small that an entire dimension could be hiding in the space beside your hand.
There is something close to you right now, closer than the air against your skin, closer than the dark behind your eyes, that you have never seen. Not because it is far away, because it is folded, tucked into the structure of everything, impossibly small, doing quiet work in the architecture of reality without ever asking to be noticed. Rest with that. In 1919, a mathematician named Theodore Kaluza sat down and wrote a letter to Albert Einstein. He wasn't famous. He wasn't powerful in the world of physics. He had just noticed something small and strange, almost embarrassing in how simple it seemed.
That when you added a single extra dimension to Einstein's equations about gravity, something appeared that had no right to be there. The equations for electricity, for magnetism, appeared on their own, without being asked, as if they had always been hiding there, inside the math, waiting for someone to open a door they didn't know existed. Einstein held on to that letter for 2 years before he replied. 2 years. Which tells you something. You don't sit with an idea for 2 years unless some part of you suspects it might be true. And suspects that if it is true, the ground under everything will shift. Let me give you something your body can hold. Imagine an ant on a garden hose. Long, green, stretched across a summer lawn. From a distance, from the second floor of a house, say, the hose looks like a line. One direction, forward and back. That's the whole world for the ant. Left and right don't exist. There is nowhere else. But close up, the hose has a circumference, a curve wrapping all the way around, a direction that is completely real, that has geometry, that you could walk if you were small enough. A whole second direction hiding inside what looked like a single straight line. We are the ant. The fabric of space we move through every single day. Every breath, every step, every heartbeat may have a direction curled into it so tightly that every instrument ever built by human hands has passed through it without noticing. Not missing it, passing through it, because it is that close. A direction in space that exists, that is real, that has structure, but curled into a circle so small it makes an atom look like a continent. You can't see it, you can't feel it, but you are moving through it right now. And here is what the mathematics found when it looked closely. If this fifth direction exists, if this hidden, curled, impossibly small dimension is real, then gravity and electromagnetism are not two separate forces. They are not two different things living in two different houses. They are the same force, seen from two different angles. The way a circle looks like a line when you view it from the side. Everything you've ever felt, the pull of the earth on your body right now, the warmth of a lamp, the static when you pull a sweater off in winter, all of it, one thing, wearing two faces. Because the space it moves through has a fold we've never learned to look around. That is what one letter between two men contained. That is what sat on Einstein's desk for 2 years. Now stop, because this is where the breath should slow. This dimension is not out there. It is not at the edge of some distant galaxy, not waiting at the frontier of space for better telescopes, not somewhere in the future when science catches up. It is here, in the air between your fingers, in the atoms of the hand resting on your chest right now, in the space between your ribs, in the warmth under the blanket, in the exact place where your body ends and the darkness of the room begins. Curled, present, unreachable, real. You have been carrying it your entire life without knowing. Let that settle. Don't think about it. Let it sink the way a stone sinks through still water. Slowly, without disturbing anything. Coming to rest somewhere deeper than thought. You are larger than you knew. Not in a way you can measure or photograph or point to. But the space that holds you has more directions than your senses were built to find. more room than your eyes can open to. And that is not frightening. It is the opposite of frightening. It is what it feels like to discover that the house you grew up in, the one you knew every corner of, every creak of the floor, every shadow in the hall, has a room you never opened. And when you finally push the door, it isn't dark inside. It's warm. And it was always there, the whole time. The fifth dimension asks nothing of you. It doesn't need to be found. It folds itself quietly into every moment you have ever lived, doing its work, holding the laws of the universe together from a place so small it will never have a word in any human language. You are already inside it, resting in it, threading through it with every slow breath you take right now. You always were. And if something can be folded this small, this tight, this hidden inside the body of what is real, then a question arrives almost on its own, soft as the room around you. What happens when something that small begins to move?
You have felt this before. The way sound moves through you, not past you. A low note from a cello in a quiet room. A voice in a chest pressed against your ear. A phone vibrating on a wooden table in the dark. You don't just hear it, you receive it. Something in you responds without being asked, because your body is mostly water, and water carries waves, and you have been resonating with the world since before you were born. Remember that, because this is where the sixth dimension begins. The question left in the dark at the end of the last chapter, what happens when something that small begins to move, has an answer. The answer is everything. For most of the 20th century, physicists imagined the smallest things in the universe as points, particles, irreducible marbles. An electron as a dot so small it had no size at all. A quark as a thing beyond things, a final full stop in the grammar of matter. But the math kept breaking. At the smallest scales, the equations collapsed into nonsense, numbers spiraling toward infinity. And in physics, infinity doesn't mean something is very large. It means you have the wrong picture. So they tried something else. What if the smallest things aren't things at all? What if they are movements? What if, beneath the scale of anything ever measured, there are loops? Not particles, but threads of pure energy, unimaginably small, each one vibrating. And the note each one plays determines what it becomes. Think of a single string on a cello. One string. Draw the bow open across it, and it gives you one identity, one sound, one particular warmth filling the room. Press one finger down, and everything changes. Same string, completely different note, a different presence entirely arriving in the air. The string didn't change. Its vibration changed. And that change is the entire difference between one thing and another. That is what the universe may be made of. Not particles, songs. An electron isn't a dot. It's a loop of energy trembling at a specific frequency. A quark is the same kind of loop playing a different note. Everything you have ever seen or touched or passed through, every wall, every face, every breath you have taken, is a particular pattern of something impossibly small trembling in a particular way. And for a string to vibrate, to have room to move, to resonate, to play anything at all, it needs space. Hidden space. The curled, secret, impossibly small dimensions folded into the fabric of reality. The ones we found in the fifth. Those aren't just extra directions. They are the hollow body of the instrument, the resonance chamber, the reason any note is possible at all. Without the shape of those hidden dimensions, the string has nowhere to go. And if the string has nowhere to go, nothing becomes anything. Now stay with this. You are lying still right now, but you are not still. Every atom in your body holds a nucleus. In that nucleus, particles. And if this is right, if the theory holds, inside those particles, smaller than anything any instrument has ever touched, smaller than the reach of any machine humans have ever built, something is moving, looping, trembling, playing. You are not matter lying in the dark. You are a chord. Every part of you, your skin, your name, the exact weight of you pressing into this bed right now, the specific rhythm of your breathing in this specific moment, is the sound that strings make when they vibrate at exactly the right frequencies, in exactly the right combination, held in exactly the right hidden space. Not like music. You are music. You are what happens when something trembles in a precise and unrepeatable way, and the universe receives it and says, This is real. This is a person. This exists. Let that be. Don't move through it. Float. You are not a thing that happened to develop a life. You are a living vibration the universe decided to sustain. Without pause, without interruption, since before you had any word for any of this. The sixth dimension is where identity begins, where the difference between one kind of matter and another is not decided by what something is made of, but by how it moves. The frequency, the pattern, the specific song of it. You are specific. You are unrepeatable. Not because of anything you chose or did or said, but because of a trembling at a depth so far beneath the life you know that the life you know is just its echo reaching the surface. A cello note doesn't know it's beautiful, it just trembles, and the trembling is enough. Rest in that. The way the last note of a song rests when the instrument is finally set down. Not gone, not silent, still hanging in the air of the room, becoming part of the room, becoming part of everything. You are still vibrating, even now, even as you slow. And if the note depends on the vibration, and the vibration depends on the space it moves through, then the next question rises the way all quiet questions do, without urgency, without alarm. Who decided the shape of that space? You are still here, still breathing, still resting in that quiet place where the body has gone soft and the mind has gone wide. Let yourself stay there. Nothing is being asked of you. Nothing needs to be solved. Now, gently, think of something you have held in your hands. A small stone, maybe. A river stone, smooth on one side, rough on the other. Turn it slowly in your memory. Feel the weight of it. Feel how the shape of that stone decides everything about it. How it sits in your palm. How it catches the light. How it skips across water, or doesn't. Shape is quiet. Shape is invisible until you notice it. But shape is everything. Hold that thought softly as you drift a little deeper, because the seventh dimension is made of shape. Not the shape of stones, the shape of something far smaller, far stranger, the shape of the hidden folds of reality itself. Scientists call this folded structure a Calabi-Yau manifold. Don't worry about the name. Let it pass through you like a word in a language you almost remember. Picture instead a piece of paper, folded again and again, smaller and smaller, until it becomes a tiny knot you could balance on the tip of an eyelash. Then keep folding, past what your eyes can follow, past what your mind can hold, until the knot is so small
It hides inside every point of empty space around you. That is the seventh dimension. A folded shape. A tiny, intricate origami tucked into the seam of every atom. And here is the thing they discovered. The thing that is so quiet and so enormous, it almost doesn't sound real. The shape of that fold decides the laws of physics. Let that settle. The way the dimension is curled, the curves of it, the twists, the number of holes inside its tiny geometry. That shape is what tells gravity how strong to be. It is what tells light how fast to travel. It is what tells electrons how heavy to be when they spin around the nucleus of every atom in your body. Change the shape, change the universe. A different fold, and water would not be wet. A different curve, and stars would never ignite. A different twist somewhere inside that invisible origami, and the chemistry that built you, slowly, over billions of years, would never have been possible. You would not be here, breathing slowly in the dark, listening to a voice. The whole of reality is balanced on the geometry of something you cannot see. Breathe with that, slowly, in and out. Imagine a glassblower, somewhere outside of time, turning a small glowing shape on the end of a rod. Every tiny adjustment of their hands changes a law. A flick of the wrist and gravity loosens. A gentle press and light slows. A bend and a new color appears that no eye in this universe has ever seen. You live inside the shape they chose, or the shape that chose itself, or the shape that has always been. And here is the soft, strange comfort of it. Every cell of you, every memory, every warmth you have ever felt against your skin, all of it exists because somewhere, smaller than small, a shape decided to be exactly the shape that it is. The universe did not have to allow you, but the fold allowed you. The geometry made room. You are the music of a shape you will never see. Let your breathing slow even more. Feel the bed beneath you. Feel the quiet weight of your own body. Somewhere, threaded through every inch of that body, a tiny folded dimension is humming the laws that hold you together. It has been humming since before there were stars. It will keep humming long after this night has ended. And as you drift now, soft and unhurried, notice how strange it is that a shape, just a shape, can be the foundation of everything you have ever known. And wonder, gently, what would happen if all the possible shapes existed at once? All the possible laws, all the possible universes, layered like pages in a book that no one has yet opened. That is where we are going next. A place where every possibility begins to gather. But not yet. For now, rest. Let the fold hold you. Let the shape sing you a little closer to sleep.
Stay with me here. We've come a long way from the line. Let me ask you something, and don't try to answer. Just let it sit on your chest, like the blanket already is. Think of a single morning, any morning, the one where you were 6 and the light came through a curtain you'll never see again. Now think, there was a version of that morning where you stayed in bed, and one where you got up earlier, one where it rained, one where you never woke at all. You feel it, don't you? That faint ache. All of those mornings were real. Not might have been, were. Each one a complete world, lived all the way through by someone who breathed exactly the way you're breathing now. That's the 7th dimension dissolving behind us. Down there, each universe was a single thread. One history, one shape, one set of laws, running from its own beginning to its own end. A line through everything that could happen to that world.
Here, in the eighth, we do something the mind isn't built to survive. We take all of those lines, every history of every possible universe, and we set them down, side by side, on one surface. Breathe. Imagine you could lift away from your own life, not forward through it, off of it, the way you'd lift a photograph off a table. And underneath your life is another, and under that, another. And they don't stack into the past or the future. They spread sideways, into a direction your body has no word for, because your body only ever moved in one of them. This is the part where the air gets thin. In the eighth dimension, there is nothing to touch, no light, no matter as you've ever held it. Down in your room there is weight, there is warmth, there is the slow tide of your own blood. Here there is none of that. Here there is only the set of all of it, every weight that was ever felt, every warmth, every blood that ever moved through every chest in every universe, laid flat, a field of lives. And I want you to find yourself in it. Somewhere on that infinite plane is the you who said the thing you should have said, and the you who left, and the you who was never born, whose mother turned left instead of right on a street in a city that, in your world, has a different name. They are all there, not waiting, not wishing, existing, as finished and as real as the hand resting beside your face right now. Here is the thing no one tells you. You have always assumed your life was the one that happened, the real one. The others, the ghosts, almosts, regrets, dreams you let go. But from up here, lying on the eighth dimension, looking down at all of them at once, there is nothing that marks yours as the true one. It's just the one you're standing in. Let that pass through you and keep going. Don't grip it. Because something strange happens when you stop grieving the other lives. When you see them not as losses but as neighbours. The you who stayed in bed that rainy morning is not more fortunate than you, and not less. She is simply another window in the same enormous house, lit from the same source. You were never the only one home. And the ache you felt a minute ago, that pull toward the lives you didn't live, that was never longing, that was recognition. You can feel them because, in some direction your body cannot turn, you are still all of them at once. Down here, in the bed, in the dark, you are one note, single, held. The breath going out of you now is the only breath you have. Up there, you are the chord, every version of that breath sounding together across every world that ever found a way to make a you. And the eighth dimension is simply the room large enough to hear them all. Rest there a moment. You don't have to choose. For the first time tonight, you don't have to be only the one you are. Now let it close. Let the plane fold quietly back into a single thread. Your thread, the warm one, the one with the blanket and the dark and the slow, steady drum under your ribs. The other lives slide out of view, not gone, just unlit. A house going dark room by room as you walk back to your own. You are one again. And that is its own kind of mercy. But notice, even now, settling back into the single self, you can still feel them out there. All those other Earths, sharing your exact moment, your exact night. And you start to wonder where, in all that infinite space, they could possibly be hiding. So you asked where they could be hiding, all those other Earths. Here is the answer, and it's stranger than hiding. They aren't anywhere else. They're here. Stay still. Feel the room around you. The walls you know, the particular dark of this particular ceiling. The air at the exact temperature it is tonight, touching the exact skin of your exact arm. Now I want you to understand something about that air. It is full. Not empty between you and the wall, not waiting to be crossed. Full. Occupied. Right now, in the space your hand is lying in, there is another hand, and another, and 1,000 more, resting in the same place, at the same moment, belonging to 1,000 someones who are also lying in a bed, in a room, on an earth, listening to a voice in the dark. They do not feel you. You do not feel them. You pass through each other like two songs playing in the same room, on frequencies that never touch. This is the 9th dimension, and it is the most crowded place that has ever existed, and the loneliest, and they are the same thing. Let me bring it closer, closer than the room, closer than the bed, the space inside your chest, the warm hollow where your breath is turning around right now. In that exact space, in another reality stitched into this one, there is a heart beating that is not yours, a grief that is not yours, a whole life pressed into the same coordinates as your life, sharing your address down to the atom, and you will never, ever know its name. You are not alone in your body. You are alone among an infinite crowd standing precisely where you stand. Don't be afraid. Let it be true and keep breathing. Because think about what this means for the ones you've lost. The voice you can't hear anymore. The face that left. In this dimension, they did not go away. Away is a direction, and there's no direction far enough to leave the 9th. They are here, in a version of this night where the phone never rang, where the road was dry, where the word goodbye was never needed. They are in the next room. They are always in the next room. The wall between you isn't made of distance. It's made of which world you happen to wake up in. And here is the thing I keep turning over in the dark. A thin wall is still a wall, but a thin one, you can almost feel them through it. That feeling you've had your whole life, the sense late at night that you are not quite alone in an empty room. The shiver with no source, the certainty for half a second that someone you loved is right here. You always told yourself it was nothing. What if it was just the wall getting thin? Let it land, then let it go. I'm not telling you the dead are watching. I'm telling you something quieter and harder. That every reality where they're still alive is sitting in the same space as this one, overlapping your kitchen, your hands, your unbearable Tuesday afternoons. So close that the only thing separating you is the single, arbitrary fact of here, of being the version that's awake on this side of the paper. Infinite worlds, one location, right now. The fullest silence in all of physics. Now let it close. Feel the crowd grow quiet. Feel the 1,000 hands withdraw from the space your hand is in, gently, like a tide pulling back, until there is only your hand again, only your breath, only your one warm reality, settling back into being the only one you can feel. You are alone in your room again, and tonight that word, alone, feels almost kind. But rest with this as you drift. If every possible Earth shares this single point of space, then somewhere there must be a place that holds them all. A place where every law, every world, every version of you isn't crowded together, but finally laid out whole. And we are almost there now. We're almost at the edge of what the mind can hold. So go slow with me now. Slower than your breath. Slower than the dark. Everything. That's what we're about to stand inside. Not a world. Not all worlds. Everything that could ever be. Gathered into a single point. Let me get you there gently. Think back through tonight. The line, the plane, the room, time, the hidden curls of space, the strings, the shapes that decide the laws, the lives laid side by side, the worlds sharing your chest. Every one of those was a thing that could be bigger. You could always step back, lift off, find the room that held the room. The 10th dimension is where that stops. There is no stepping back from here. Because here is the back of everything. The final wall,
the point past which there is no past which. Feel that for a moment in your body. Not in your mind. Your mind will fight it. Feel it lower down. The place where you go quiet when something is too big to argue with. In this single point sit all the possibilities. Every universe with every law. The ones where gravity pulls and the ones where it pushes. The ones that lived 1 trillion years and the ones that flickered out before they could be named. The world where you exist. The world where the rules never allowed for anything like you at all. All of it. One point. No size. No outside. Now here is the thing the physicists found, and it still makes my throat go tight. When they finally reached this dimension, the deepest description we have, the floor under the floor, they didn't find one truth waiting there. They found 5. 5 complete theories of everything. 5 different maps of all that is. Each one whole, each one finished, each one swearing it was the only one. And for years, people fought over which was real, which was right, until someone quiet did the unthinkable thing. They laid the 5 maps on top of each other, and the maps were the same map. Stay with me. 5 descriptions that looked nothing alike, 5 languages with no words in common. And underneath, when you turned them just so, every line matched. Every truth was the same truth, wearing 5 faces, none of them lying. There was never a contradiction. There was only one thing, too large to be seen from a single side. Let that settle into you, because you already know this feeling. You've lived it. You are 5 maps too. The you your mother sees, the you that lies awake right now, the you in the photo you can't look at, the you that you pretend to be at noon, the you that no one has ever met. All of them swearing they're the real one. All of them sure the others are the mask. And up here, from the 10th dimension, looking down at the point that holds everything, they were never different people. They were one thing, too large to be seen from a single side. Don't hold it. Let it go. Let it be true without your help. Because that's what this dimension is. The place where every contradiction you ever carried turns out to have been a single shape all along, seen from too close. Where the war inside you was never a war. Just one creature, too big to fit inside one view of itself. The point that holds all worlds also holds all of you, and it has never once been divided. Let the door close now. Let the 5 maps fold quietly into one, and the one fold quietly into dark. There is nothing past this point, and for the first time, that isn't frightening. It's a kind of rest. The rest of arriving somewhere there's no further to fall. You are whole. You always were. You just couldn't see it from inside. But breathe, because one question remains, the last one, the one underneath everything. If this single point holds all that could ever be, then what is it floating in?
Listen, you've come so far that the word dimension doesn't even feel like a word anymore. It's just a sound now. A small key for a very large door. This is the last one. I want you to do something for me. Not in your mind, in your body. Press the back of your hand against the sheet beside you. Feel where your skin stops and the world begins. That edge.
That thin, certain line where you ends. Stay there. That edge is the whole story tonight. Because everything you have ever called the universe, every star you've squinted at, every face you've loved, every morning you've woken into, all of it lives on a surface, a skin, stretched impossibly thin across something vast. They call it a brain, a membrane. And I know that word sounds clinical, so let it go, and keep only this. You are not living in a universe, you are living on one. The way a single drop of water lives on the surface of a leaf, never knowing there is up, never knowing there is down, knowing only the wide, flat, shining world it can slide across. Feel your back against the mattress. Now understand, that flatness is you. All 3 dimensions you've ever moved through, or your width and height and depth, the whole architecture of your body, is the thin film on top of something you have no organ to perceive. You are the drawing, not the paper. And here in the 11th, there is the paper. There is room here, real room. Room for membranes the size of universes to drift like sheets hung out to dry in a wind that has no name. Some of them empty, some of them burning with their own kinds of stars. Some of them so close to ours that they are almost touching, a hair's width away, in a direction you cannot point to. I want you to feel how close, not far, not in the sky. The other universes are not out there. Out there is for things on your surface. They are underneath, beneath the breath you are taking right now. Closer to you than the next room. Closer than your own heartbeat is to your own skin. A whole cosmos, pressed against yours like a palm against the other side of a window. And once, long, long before there was a you to wonder about it, 2 of these membranes drifted toward each other in the dark, and they touched. That touch was the Big Bang. Everything. Every galaxy, every grain of sand, every word in every language, the precise warmth of your body right now under that blanket, all of it is the echo of 2 enormous sheets brushing against one another in a room you live inside but have never seen. You were not born from an explosion in space. You were born from a touch. Stay with that. Don't rush past it. The beginning of everything was not violence, it was contact. 2 surfaces, finding each other in the dark. The way your hand finds the edge of the bed when you wake confused in the night and need to know which way is real. That's where you come from. That gentleness, that enormous gentleness, at the start of all things. And they are still out there, the brains, drifting. Some of them will touch again. Somewhere in the 11th dimension, a universe is beginning right now, the way ours did, and it does not know it, the way ours didn't. Now I need to tell you the thing I came here to tell you. The reason I've stayed up this late, sitting beside you in the dark. You spent this whole hour climbing. One line, then a plane, then the room you're lying in, then time, holding all your tomorrows already finished. Then the curled up secret dimensions, the strings singing you into a person, the shapes deciding the laws, the parallel selves, the infinite invisible earths. You thought you were going up. You weren't. You were going in. Every dimension you crossed tonight was already inside the one before it, folded, waiting. The 11th was never above you. It was the thing your own body has been made of the entire time. So here is the last door, and I'll open it quietly. The vastness you've been reaching toward, the brains, the 11 dimensions, the whole trembling architecture of everything, it isn't somewhere you have to go. You are already there. You have always been there. You were there before you knew the word dimension, before you knew your own name, before your mother knew your face.
The fabric of reality isn't around you. You are a place where it briefly woke up and felt itself. Feel the edge of your hand again, that line where you end. There is no line. There never was. Let it go now. All of it. The line, the climb, the count from 1 to 11. You don't need to hold any of it. The universe held you for 14 billion years before you arrived, and will hold you long after. And it has never once let go. Not for a single breath. Not even this one. Let your hand fall open. The journey is over. The doors are all behind you now, gently closing, one by one, in their long, quiet row. And somewhere, in a direction you'll never have to point to, the membranes drift on through the end.